Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, Jaguar's in the news. The folks over at Auto Guide talked to one of the head honchos over at Jaguar, and they came out and said that they are looking into building a brand new SUV or crossover, which is an interesting situation because there's a little pact between Jaguar and their partner, Land Rover, underneath the Tata umbrella. Both of them have a little unwritten agreement saying that Jaguar will never build SUVs and Land Rover will never build a car. Well, apparently that deal is off because the folks over at Tata actually want the production numbers and the units sold numbers to go up. In the year of 2013, they sold over 400,000 units as a group, and they want that to go over 700,000 units. And Jaguar thinks that an SUV or a crossover would be right down the alley to trying to bridge that gap. Now, the folks over at Land Rover with that brand new Evoque are probably bridging that gap quite nicely. That machine is selling very, very well. And this brand new Jaguar may be very, very intriguing to see as well. Now, there was a little bit of rumblings about this because you remember this particular machine from the Paris Motor Show last year. Jaguar claimed that they were just showing off the aluminum-intensive architecture of this machine that was going into the brand new XE. But I thought that there was a little bit more to this story. Why would they come out with an SUV concept when they had no idea of building an SUV? So apparently this has been in the works for quite some time. It'll be very intriguing to see what Jaguar may have up their sleeve. Next up on the list, the folks over at Audi took some of their autonomous technology that's going to be going into automobiles very soon. Now, if you don't know what autonomous technology is, it's basically where you can set up an automobile to drive itself. And they wanted to show off the performance side of this, so they put it on a brand new RS7. Yes, the most highest performing, high performance Audi A7 that's on the market today. And they didn't just take it anywhere. They took it to the Hockenheimring over in Germany. Didn't show the vehicle around the circuit, just showed it a map of the circuit and turned it loose at full race speeds. This vehicle was reaching speeds well over 100 miles an hour down some of the straights. Yes, this would be something that no way, shape, or form could you put me in the passenger side seat and let me pound around with this particular machine. You could probably put me in the passenger seat alongside a Formula One Ace or a World Rally Star, and I probably wouldn't have that much of a problem. But much like a little conversation I had with a friend of mine here not too long ago, where she was intrigued how I wasn't a big fan, like she was, of roller coasters. I told her, you know what, I don't have any control over those machines, that's why they bug me a little. But if they put a set of pedals and the steering wheel in front of me, I probably could do just fine. That would probably be what you'd have to do with this thing, but I don't know if it would work that well. But very intriguing little situation. The autonomous technology showing off very, very interestingly in this particular machine. We'll hopefully have a whole lot more about this very soon. Next up on the list, well, you remember us talking about the Ferrari 458 Speciale Aperta. Now, the Aperta is the all-new convertible version of the Speciale. Now, this particular vehicle, the first ever of these machines to be built, was actually sold out in California for auction, was actually put up for auction, and it was all for charity. The machine brought over 900,000 US dollars. Well, halfway around the world, and a different Ferrari was actually going up for auction. This particular machine, an old F40, that has a very famous first owner. This vehicle was bought in 1989 by a fellow by the name of Nigel Mansell. You may know him as IndyCar and Formula One World Champion Nigel Mansell. Mr. Mansell was driving for the Scuderia back in 1989 when he purchased this particular machine, and he owned it all the way up till it went up for auction only a handful of days ago. And this thing brought just a touch under 900,000 US dollars. Now, this particular machine is not the most expensive F40, as one went for just under $1.5 million, but it's still pretty doggone good money for one of these machines. Last up on the list, the folks over at motoring.com over in Australia had a nice little conversation with one of the heads of Mazda. And Mazda's got some plans coming up well into the future. 2017, that is. You may remember this particular machine, the RX8. Well, apparently we may have an RX9, the much rumored RX9, maybe coming in the year of 2017, or at least a concept version. They want to have a concept version that particular year, and why do you ask? Because it'll be 50 years of the rotary engine in development in the world stage. Now, interestingly enough, they say that possibly that could become a production version in the year of 2020. And if you ask why are they waiting so many years, well, that's because it's going to be the 100th anniversary of Mazda as an automobile company. So very, very interesting. See, Mazda's thinking this far ahead. Of course, life cycle of automobiles is 3 or 4 years ahead anyway, but still pretty doggone neat. We'll hopefully have a whole lot more about this stuff coming up in the future. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. I thank you for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.